Guys and dolls, so non-stop, got good news as well. But first of all, never done a video yesterday. I actually did a video and I need to edit it. It's about Ireland. I need to have a good look at it, so I do go over it all again and need to add stuff to it. I'm going to do a wee video now, so I am a wee video as I'm walking the dog and stuff like that. And yeah, I've got something on my mind I want to talk about. So yeah, first of all, this is why I never done the video yesterday, so I'm sure you'll all understand. Lucky, Lucky, it's your daddy. Lucky, it's your daddy. Lucky, it's daddy. I know you're pretending to sleep. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning.
She's like her mum, we've been dozing her.
Oh, good morning, my wee Lucky. And did you have a good sleep? Did you doze off beside mummy? Eh? You dozed off beside mummy? You gonna give me a wee smile? You gonna give daddy a wee smile? You're a wee grumpy one in the morning. You're just like your mum. The two. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna leave it at peace. Yep. So I know I can be forgiven, but I just want to talk about the day, guys. There's a lot going on in Westminster right now, just with Starmer, you know, and as you know, I've been covering this for a wee while now, like 4 months, and a lot of my videos that you have watched, if you have watched them from the start, you'll see the stuff that I'm saying starting to get picked up by the media now, you know. And it's sad it's taken so long, you know what I mean? And but it is a bit more reassuring, you know, because as you can imagine, it's quite daunting doing this, you know. And I've always made it clear from the start, you know, I do this for my daughter, you know what I mean? I'm not into putting myself out there like this and walking a very, very thin line, you know, because you're walking a thin line because of our government, you know. You know, I only tell the truth, you know. I give my opinion of what I think's happening with what I see, you know, in the working class areas. You know, I'm on the pulse when it comes to this stuff, you know. So, I mean, I can tell you things like even just going through the hospital stuff with my baby. Just give you an example right away, like. So, don't want to get anybody into trouble. But obviously my Katie was there, Katie's mum, and we had an amazing midwife. So when they started getting Katie ready to give birth, the first midwife we had on the first day, absolutely amazing, really easy to talk to, been at it a long time, but still young. Her husband was worked in the NHS, a really good job and all the rest of it. And as you do, we just get talking because it's just us in the room, and she's in the room all the time. She's just sitting there, like constantly doing stuff on the computer, checking all the different monitors, you know. So obviously they're used to having to, like, you know, break the uncomfortableness by having a chat. And you know me, I like a chat, you know. So anyway, we get to talking about the state of the country, as you do, you know. And so on my mother's grave, as Katie's my witness, you know. This amazing midwife is getting ready to leave simply because there's no money here. They can't survive, you know. And also the rewards for the same job in other countries is so you just can't refuse it, you know what I mean? You'd be a mug if you were going to bring in a family and decide to bring a family, and you're talking 50% more earnings by the time, you know, the taxes all change and everything. And also, I dare say, there's other perks in a lot of countries for being such an amazing midwife. So yeah, we're losing our best, and it's getting to get worse and worse. And the government aren't saying nothing, you know. You know, and at the same time we're taking the best from these poor countries and leaving them even worse because we've got their best. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, so just being a guy on the street who you know who I am and what I've been, it's very clear to me the mistakes that are being made for everybody, not just for us in Britain and our culture and everything, but for all these other countries that we're taking the doctors and nurses from. You know, we never stop to think about that. We're actually taking doctors and nurses, so the government keep telling us, doctors and nurses and lawyers and engineers and professors and scientists, we're taking them all from poor countries. You know, so there's so many ways we can prove it's not working, but we've got a big problem right now, and I'm going to just show you a couple of videos. I hope you don't mind, it might be a wee bit of a long one, so if you want to pause it, go and grab a cup of tea. If you don't want to grab a cup of tea, do me a wee favour. If you're watching on the TV, grab your remote control for me and just press the arrow. You got 4 arrows, press the arrow up and you'll see what comes up on the TV. It'll come up, so just click along to my face. You'll see my face with my peak cap on, and just click on that, and then it'll say subscribe. If you're not subscribed, because we subscribe, guys. It's that simple it is, and then just hit the back button. So without further ado, I shall play you my first video.
Is our Prime Minister actually our Prime Minister? Because so far, he seems obsessed with serving everyone else apart from the British public. Do you remember when he kept saying this?
I say to you directly, my government will serve you. Politics can be a force for good. We will show that. We've changed the Labour Party, returned it to service, and that is how we will govern. Country first, party second.
Country first, OK? Well, what have we had? It looks like he might be about to give away the Elgin marbles to keep the Greeks happy. He's already given away the Chagos Islands to keep the Chinese happy, which apparently included a deal to allow a load of Sri Lankans who might be sex criminals into Britain as well.
There are serious concerns in Whitehall that some of those Sri Lankans have criminal records. There are allegations that some of them may be involved in child abuse. I've raised this with the Home Office to no avail. Can ministers in the Foreign Office make sure that all records are checked in Sri Lanka and in Diego Garcia?
Just need to cut in there. Does this make any sense to you at all? With everything that's going on in this country in the last 10, 15 years, right? The thousands upon thousands upon thousands of children across Britain and in Ireland that have suffered at the hands of what the government call irregular immigration, because there's bad eggs in amongst the good ones. What do we have to do to protect our children? Let's put it as simple as I can for everybody to sort of understand why I am so upset and frustrated. Imagine it was your house, the country's your house, and you've got a huge big family. And you keep inviting these people in, and they keep doing your children harm. And you just keep bringing them in, and they keep on doing your children harm. You're watching this, a member of your family, watching the other members, the leader of your family, whoever's in charge of your family, still allowing this to happen, and still your children are suffering. What do you think them family members would do? You know, how do you think them family members would feel? And just because it hasn't happened to your family member right this minute, there's thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of families who have been affected. You know, you got to understand there is a ripple effect that goes out and affects so many people from that one abuse. Let's continue.
He said that he wouldn't let Britain pay reparations. Then he ended up discussing reparations to keep the Commonwealth nations happy. He said he wouldn't put your energy bills up. Well, they have gone up and they're going to go up again. And now we're giving away billions of pounds in climate change reparations to keep people like India happy. Shock horror, they're not happy and they want more of our money. He won a load of votes in rural constituencies at the last election, then shafted British farmers, simultaneously giving away about £500 million in foreign aid to foreign farmers. So he seems to care more about them than the people in this country who actually feed us. He's desperate to cosy up to globalists like Bill Gates and BlackRock, but I suppose that we should have expected this from the bloke who said this.
You have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained.
Yeah, it's in England. We can't have that, can we? He said that he'd stop the boats, something British people actually care about. British taxpayers are paying for those illegal immigrants. But he voted against tougher asylum laws 14 times when he was in opposition. And then when people get angry about it all, he seems to think they're just massive racists.
The disorder is intolerable. It is incapable of justification. It's clearly racist.
How are we expected to have faith in a man who has fought tooth and nail to keep illegal immigrants in this country? Our Prime Minister is implicit, before he was Prime Minister, keeping these men here when others tried to deport them. And yes, you're seeing clips that I've already shown you, and it does make me feel quite good that what I've done in the past, what videos you have watched, mainstream media has in GB News, are now doing the exact same. And I just want you to take, and it's no being big-headed, but give yourselves a pat on the back. Because you are the ones that got this news first from me, you know. You are the ones that have had the heads up. Everybody else has had to wait till yesterday to see what you're seeing right now, what I'm showing you. That last clip you seen there, calling everybody racist, that was Northern Ireland. That's in my video. Starmer makes who's mistaken Northern Ireland, but it's got like thousands and thousands of views. But yeah, it makes me feel good that I'm on the right track, because I do doubt myself sometimes. Everybody does, it's natural. You know, like I say, I've only been doing this for a month, never done anything like this in my life, and I do feel like I'm out of my depth sometimes, but only because of you, your support, your comments, it makes me keep going on. So I thank you for giving me the support, and let's keep going.
I think we have to ask ourselves now, who does this Prime Minister actually serve? Because he seems to care about everyone and everything that isn't British. Are Brits at the back of the queue under Keir Starmer?
Guys, I just want you to bear with me. So, you know, that's just the first clip I want to show you. You know what I mean? Because we need to get this out. I need to put this down, because everybody's talking about stuff and nobody's doing anything about it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. We've got a man who's cozying up the world leaders that don't come from this country, multi-millionaires, trillionaires who we see are doing stuff to foods. They're buying all the farms in America, talking about Bill Gates. He was over here, him and that BlackRock, and the next day they brought out that thing against the farmers, and that's also the farmers sell their land, and Bill Gates will be straight in there to buy it. Why does he want to buy the land? Because then he controls the food, he controls the grains, you know, he controls the oats. It's huge monopolisation, guys, and it's something that we really need to be worried about, because it's getting clearer and clearer to everybody that our government aren't in charge of our country. Our government are being run by the same people that's running Biden. Biden's not in charge. Come on, when do you think Biden's been in control of America? Look at the neck of the guy. The guy, it's a shame what they're putting that old boy through. Any other business, people would be done for taking advantage of an old age pensioner like that. And I'm not being sarcastic, I'm not being funny. That man is too old. He needs to retire, surely, but he's been used. He's not making any decisions. It's people behind him are making decisions. Who's pulling the strings? Who's pulling the strings of Macron? The things that Macron has done to France is unbelievable. We now have, people would say, a far right coming up, as in Le Pen. I would say just right wing, heading towards centrist myself, you know what I mean? And then we've got Trudeau. You know, you just need to have a wee look at Canada, or listen to Canadian podcasters, listen to the citizen journalists of Canada, Israel Levant from Rebel Media, listen to some of the things that they're saying about Trudeau. It all sounds the same to everybody, or them 4 countries, Britain, Canada, America and France. America not for long, because Trump's about to take over and sort that place right out. But it's just quite serious, guys. You know, there's so much evidence that our government isn't running things. They're being used, and somebody else is pulling the strings for. And this is the whole thing about immigration. It's all being pushed. It's a big agenda being pushed by people at the above, and we need to take control of our own country. There's no two ways. This is why we're in such a mess. This is why farmers are up in arms. This is why old people are going to be dying of the coldness. And it's not an exaggeration. People are going to die. And you don't even know what's coming, guys. There's so much coming that they're going to hit the most vulnerable people, because there's so many people taking the piss. Now, I've done it, benefit frauds. I've done a video about it, benefit frauds. And we know now how many, almost $1 billion are taking universal credit. Immigrants, this came from foreigners, are getting universal, nearly $1 billion a year is getting universal credit. And that's just a figure that they're admitting. That's not counting PIP, adult disability, housing benefit and all the rest of it. That's just universal credit, you know. And so what's going to happen now? They're going to come down hard, and our most vulnerable are going to suffer. Where do you see this? Where do you see what they do? And we now have a situation where all our best brains and people who make the most money are leaving this country, because there's no way they're going to get taxed. There's no way anybody in their right mind who's a skilled professional who can get a job anywhere in the world is going to stay here. Please stay with this, guys. I know I never brought a wee video yesterday, so this is a wee bit extra long, but it definitely is worth it.
The UK's most high-profile political strategists just say.
The Cabinet is just a kind of stage theatre, and actually officials in the Cabinet Office have already decided it all.
I'm Bev Turner, and I hope you're sitting comfortably, because I think Dominic Cummings, the man who was chief advisor to Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, during 2019 to 2020, has just revealed that the deep state is running this country, and that our political system is therefore a complete sham. I think that's what he just said.
The person in the... So if you think of 2 roles, right? The Foreign Secretary in Great Britain and the private secretary in the PM's office responsible for foreign affairs, an official whose name has never been in the newspapers. That person was like 10 times more powerful and important than the Secretary of State was. And I think this is something which people just don't really realize. And it's part of like how the whole system has become fake. So you have fake meritocracy, fake responsibility, and then fake cabinet government.
So who is this? Who is this person that has so much power? Do you listen to what this guy said? Now, I know that he's got an axe to grind. I know that, right? Fair enough. But he's not going to come out with this stuff. He must have receipts. He must have receipts. A man like that will definitely have receipts. And if he doesn't have the receipts, you know who will have the receipts. And I think this is the beginning of something big, guys. Believe you me. Let's carry on.
So they all walk up Downing Street, the cameras whir, they pose, they smile, ha ha, I'm going into the most powerful meeting, aren't I great? But it's all nonsense. The Cabinet is just a kind of stage theatre. And actually officials in the Cabinet Office have already decided it all. When you sit in Whitehall now, right, in meetings, they are literally scripted. So when the Prime Minister has a meeting with ministers, what happens is that before the Prime Minister has that meeting, officials go into the Prime Minister's study and they give him a folder. And in the folder at the front is a thing called Chairman's Notes. And that's the script. And that's what the Prime Minister reads out. And the conclusions for the meeting are in the Chairman's Notes, drafted before the meeting happens, right? So the Prime Minister says, hello, Secretary of State, blah, blah, blah. And then all these officials sit around the sides on chairs around the edge of the room. And then the MP, the Secretaries of State, all look down at their folders because they've all got their scripts, right? And this is why I use the NPC meme, right? because then the Prime Minister reads out, well, we're here to discuss blah, blah, blah. And then he goes around the room, and then Secretary of State for Justice or the Foreign Secretary reads out his bullet points, and then he reads out their bullet points, and they read out. If anyone goes on script, you see the officials sort of go, and then look over at the other official inside the room and kind of go.
I'm not going to go on and on with this character, but it's very interesting. The script. So what we need to know, who's writing these scripts, that's the most important thing. This is really, really important, guys. This is what I've been saying all along. Our Prime Minister does not have a clue. We know he doesn't have a clue. You can tell the way he reads things. When he has his glasses on, that means he's reading off something, you know. And I've been watching leaders for a long time, believe you me. And when a leader is passionate about and believes in what he's saying, he doesn't need a prompter. Maybe need a prompter just to prompt him, but not to read every single letter and word. You know, that's not right. Let's hear, I'm going to stop that bit there and let's hear what Bev, who brings that original report, has to say about it.
This is almost too much for my brain to take in. He just said the quiet bit out loud. Yes, we know that corporate corruption through lobbying has nudged MPs in various directions for years. And yes, we know that the regulatory authorities meant to keep us safe and healthy, such as the MHRA and the JCVR and the WHO.
I'm not going to keep going on and on about it, right? What I'm going to do with this one, guys, and I'm going to put the link in the description. If you want to watch the full video of Bev and what she says, the link's in the description. Just go to the description, click that, and it'll take you straight to the video that you were just watching, and it'll be the full version of it. But basically, you know, it's like she says, he's admitting exactly what we have a big problem with. There should be no influence in our government from anybody else. Our government should be solely run by just British people with the interests of the British people at mind, right? And we now have a clear understanding that our Prime Minister is just, he's not there for us, you know. As Patrick Christie said, he's not there for us, you know. He goes on about how bad things are with illegal immigration and migration. He says it's been like planned, you know what I mean, an experiment, you know, but he's quite happy with that. He's happy that he's able to tell you about it and blame it on the Tories, but never ever forget that it was Tony Blair that started this. This has got nothing to do with our government. This has been created by people outside of our government, and they're doing it right across Europe. And to be honest with you, there's quite a lot of people up in arms, and I could bring you other stuff. I'll leave that for another day. There was an amazing speech in the European Union directed at the leader of the European Union, and she got slaughtered, you know, by a Polish representative, told her exactly what they thought and the damage that she was doing to Europe, and she didn't like it. But it needed to be said, and it was quite good that people are starting to speak out, and I'm starting to see that quite a lot now. And I know a lot of people, especially people in Ireland, are feeling really down right now, and people aren't listening, but things are changing rapidly, you know. You got to understand, if you think things are bad now with the numbers, imagine what it's going to be like when them numbers increase and increase. You've got to remember this, and this is not nice to say, but the people that are coming in and doing the damage aren't going to stop coming in. You get me? They're going to keep coming, and more damage is going to be done to our societies, okay? And there's going to be a lot more horrific things coming up over the next 3 or 4 months, I imagine. I understand that every Christmas market in England right now is under high alert. Again, the British government aren't telling you. But they can't deny the armed police that are walking around all the Sunday markets. So people are wanting to know what is going on. People are asking questions. Why is there armed policemen walking about our Sunday markets now? Not our Sunday markets, our Christmas markets, sorry. You know, if there's a heightened threat, should we not know? Should they not tell us that there is intelligence that there is a threat and there's going to be an attack at a Christmas market somewhere in England? We don't know which one, so we're taking precautions, and we ask the public to be aware. Would that not make sense? But of course it would make sense, but I'll tell you why they're not doing it. it's all this rhetoric. It's all okay. Illegal immigration and immigrations, it's good. They're here to do the jobs that we don't want. They're the doctors and nurses that we need. You know, that's why they don't tell you that the threat level has gone up in this country and you're not probably safe in a Christmas market. We never ever had armed police in our Christmas markets. Our Christmas markets were always full of joy, brandy, Christmas logs, mince pies, kids sitting in Santa's lap, people relaxed and happy, you know, looking forward to the holidays, maybe on the holidays, finished for the holidays, you know. Men and women that work really hard, you know, a special time. So it is, our Christmas. But as you can see, it's under attack. So I imagine with the evidence, with the armed police all around, we can definitely go that there's definitely going to be something coming, 100%. So, going to leave it there, guys. All the best for now. And as always, God bless.